For young quarterbacks in the NFL, the offseason going into their fourth year in the league can be the most important offseason of their NFL career. This is usually the point where it's determined whether they become made men or they're denied access to the club. The offseason going into year four, in most cases, is the time when quarterbacks want to be given their contract extension. They want a raise, they want long term stability. We saw it happen last year with Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. And the Cleveland Browns are reaching that point with Baker Mayfield. I can guarantee you, Baker Mayfield is going to ask for an extension at some point this offseason, if he hasn't asked for it already. If you're Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns, what do? Do you give Baker Mayfield big money? I mean, you want to keep him happy. Quarterbacks, they tend to be a lot happier when they're paid what they feel like they deserve to be paid. But is Kevin Stefanski really convinced that Baker Mayfield is his franchise quarterback? This could turn into a sticky situation in Cleveland, kind of like it did in Dallas with Dak Prescott. There's a difference between Baker Mayfield and guys like Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. Mahomes, of course, won a Super Bowl. Deshaun Watson, he has overcome incompetence in Houston his entire career, somehow managed to keep them in the playoffs damn near every year. Baker Mayfield, the jury still out on him. I realize fans in Cleveland are excited about Baker Mayfield. I get it. Hell, they haven't entered an off season without a question mark at quarterback in what, 30, 35 years? For the first time in my lifetime, it seems like the Browns have some level of stability at quarterback and at head coach. I know I'm hard on Baker Mayfield a lot, but let's be honest. He brings that on himself. Going into year four, what do we really know about Baker Mayfield? I know he's fantastic in those damn television commercials. He's great at marketing deodorant or insurance or whatever the hell it is that he promotes on those commercials. He's got a beautiful wife, nice family. He's durable. Since coming in as the starter his rookie year, Baker Mayfield has yet to miss a game. That's all well and good. All that is well and good. But none of that means anything when it comes to a contract extension. Going into year four, we have the same questions and concerns about Baker Mayfield that we had at this point last year. The only difference is he has a little bit of leverage this year. He led the Browns to the playoffs for the first time in 2 decades? I think since 2002. He even got them a win in Pittsburgh. And they played the Chiefs down to the wire. So why am I still concerned? Why am I not convinced that Baker Mayfield is a franchise quarterback? First, let me go ahead and get this out of the way. I always like to be fair on here. Baker Mayfield has not had the easiest road in the NFL. He's been in the league for 3 years. And he has cycled through 4 coaches and 3 different offensive systems. That is usually a death sentence for a young quarterback. Young quarterbacks in the NFL, they're kind of like young children. They need stability. They need routine, organization. Constant change is the last thing they need. It's detrimental. Ruins careers. If you don't believe me, just look at Sam Darnold. He was drafted 2 spots behind Baker Mayfield back in 2018. They were both drafted into the same horrible situation. Darnold to the Jets, dumpster fire, and then Baker Mayfield, of course, to the Browns. I'm sure it was a difficult transition for Baker Mayfield. I mean, you go from a Rolls Royce of a program in Oklahoma to a Schwinn with a bum tire in Cleveland. But I've got to credit Baker Mayfield for his toughness and his resiliency. While Sam Darnold was over in New York City just drowning with the Jets, Baker Mayfield has found a way to keep himself and the Browns afloat. I'd even go as far as to say that he's developing into the leader of this team. Now, that doesn't mean he's getting paid this offseason. I know historically the Browns are known for making bad decisions, but it would be a huge mistake to commit long-term to Baker Mayfield at this point. One good season doesn't mean you're a franchise quarterback. It doesn't mean you're the next Big Ben or Brady, Breeze, Peyton Manning. It doesn't mean that. We have 2 recent examples of why it's a terrible idea to rush into paying your young quarterback. The Eagles and the Rams. Jared Goff led the Rams to the Super Bowl. He had one great season back in 2018. The Rams rushed his extension, they overpaid him. 2 years later, they ship him off to Detroit, where NFL careers go to die. Eagles, they did the same thing with Carson Wentz. Now, I'm still a believer in Carson Wentz. I think he's going to flourish in Indianapolis, but it was an error in judgment on the Eagles' part to pay him a couple of years ago. He had a history of injuries. They knew he had potential, but there was no guarantee that he could reach that potential. The Eagles, they paid him anyway. 2 years later, they find themselves stuck with Jalen Hurts. I don't believe that Kevin Stefanski is going to make that same mistake. For one, there's just no reason at this point to even enter negotiations with Baker Mayfield on an extension. He has 2 years left on his current deal. The Browns have a team option for year 5, so Baker Mayfield is essentially entering a contract year this season. So why would you pay him now and take away all that motivation to have to earn the extension? Doesn't make sense. And two, it's no guarantee that Baker Mayfield can be a franchise quarterback. What we saw from him last season, that could be his ceiling. That could be the best that Baker Mayfield is capable of being. We just don't know at this point. Look at it this way. Think of all of the young quarterbacks in the NFL right now. All the guys drafted in the last 3 or 4 years. Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, even Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. Would you take Baker Mayfield over any of those quarterbacks? I damn sure wouldn't. And that's the way you have to look at it if you're Kevin Stefanski or if you're a fan of the Cleveland Browns. I know it's exciting for fans of the Browns to have stability at quarterback. I get it. I'm a fan of the Saints. I know how it is to not have a quarterback for 40 years. But that doesn't mean you have your long-term solution. Last year could be an anomaly. It could be lightning in a bottle. Happened once, may never happen again. Or Baker Mayfield could continue to improve, continue to develop, and play in Cleveland for the next 15 years. My point is, we just don't know. If it was your money, let's say it was your money, you own the Browns, would you be willing to gamble $150, $200 million on a maybe with Baker Mayfield? Maybe Baker Mayfield is the answer. Maybe he can be a franchise quarterback. Maybe he hasn't reached his full potential. With the exception of Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow, there is no maybe with those other quarterbacks that I compared to Baker Mayfield. We know every one of those guys are legit. Baker Mayfield, to me, is in a class with Dak Prescott. He can win you some games. He's reliable. He's also polarizing. But is he the guy that can win you a Super Bowl? Look at how long it took the Cowboys to decide on Dak Prescott. He finally got his extension, a month or two ago? And I still don't think Jerry Jones really believes Dak is the answer. So to answer the question in the title of the video, is Baker Mayfield a franchise quarterback? The answer is no. At least not yet anyway. Now, if he can replicate the success of last season, pay him. But at this point, it just makes no sense for Kevin Stefanski and the Browns to rush into a contract extension that they could end up regretting in 2 years. All right, let me know what you think. Am I wrong about Baker Mayfield? Has he already proven himself capable as a franchise quarterback? Should the Browns give him an extension this offseason, or should they wait another year? Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Going to be a busy week here on the channel. I saw something earlier this morning. Ratings for the NBA and Major League Baseball are declining. We might get into that at some point this week. The playoffs for the NBA are about a month away. Will people be watching? Or will it be another playoff ratings like it was last year? We'll talk about that later this week. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys on Tuesday.